Unlocking your life's potential isn't about superhuman effort, it's about laser focus and unwavering belief. It's a deceptively simple formula most overlook precisely because of its simplicity. You might be skeptical, and you'd be in good company. Society trains us from childhood to underestimate our power, to play small, to admire others' triumphs while quietly accepting our own second-tier roles. We're conditioned to be spectators in our own lives, admiring successful artists, influencers, or entrepreneurs and thinking, they were born for this, I'm not. But that's a lie, a societal conditioning, not an inherent truth. You've probably spent years watching others shine, wishing you had their courage, their success, their seemingly effortless grace. But what if I told you that the difference isn't innate ability, but a conscious choice, a shift in perspective, a recalibration of your inner frequency? What if I told you that you can, right now, rewrite your story? The first step: crystal clear definition of your desires. Not what your family expects, not what society deems acceptable, but what truly sets your soul on fire. Can you articulate that yearning? Not vague wishes like, I want to be happy, or, I want more money, but something specific, something that electrifies you just thinking about it. Can you write a single sentence right now, I feel so happy and grateful now because? And accurately describe the life you crave? Most people can't. Why? Because we're trained not to intensely desire, lest it be deemed selfish or unrealistic, a breeding ground for disappointment. But the real disappointment is a life spent watching from the sidelines. Award-winning filmmaker Phil Goldfine, a friend of mine, once yearned for a second Oscar. I suggested a simple yet profound exercise. Phil, take a picture holding an Oscar in your right hand, another in your left. Then, digitally merge them. He did. The image seeped into his subconscious. When a vision penetrates your subconscious with intensity, clarity, and emotion, it becomes reality. This isn't just motivation, it's a natural law. Your subconscious mind is fertile ground. It doesn't judge, it simply grows what you plant. Most plant fear, doubt, and self-limiting beliefs. Alarming statistics reveal that over 70% of people lack defined goals. They live on autopilot, waiting for change without changing their approach. Does that sound familiar? Monday morning dread, counting down the days until Friday, the month until payday, the whole year until vacation, only to realize life slipped by without you truly living it. Transformation starts with a decision, not luck, talent, or privilege. It's about taking control, writing your script, and becoming the protagonist. Grab pen and paper now star. Write in detail what you desire, using that sentence, I feel so happy and grateful now because. Describe this life as if it's already real, because to your mind, it needs to be real before it becomes so. Do this consistently, with clarity and emotion, and you'll begin to notice shifts. You'll see new opportunities, attract supportive people, and make different choices. You'll transition from extra to director of your own film. Why do some effortlessly attract opportunity and success while others toil endlessly with little progress? It's not about merit or effort, it's about vibrational frequency. Everything is energy, including you. Thoughts, emotions, beliefs all vibrate. We attract what resonates with our inner frequency. Scarcity attracts more scarcity. Fear doesn't attract courage. Doubt doesn't attract clarity. I've lived this. I was once broke, lost, working dead-end jobs, factories, gas stations, tire shops, my hands perpetually grease-stained, waking up with a crushing weight on my chest, believing my life was predetermined by an unfair world. I was wrong. I was projecting a frequency of limitation and scarcity, and the universe obediently reflected that back. Then, someone gave me the book, Think and Grow Rich. It showed me the problem wasn't the world, but my vibrational frequency. Notice how when you feel down, everything seems worse. But when you're happy and confident, even traffic seems to flow. It's not coincidence, it's energy, vibration, alignment with your inner state. You won't attract anything contradicting your core beliefs. If you believe money is hard to come by, life is a struggle, and nobody helps, your reality will confirm that. People want to change their lives without changing their vibration. They desire wealth but think and act poor. They crave love but self-sabotage. They yearn for freedom but fear risk. It's like tuning a radio to the wrong station. You can't scream louder to get a different song, you have to change the frequency. Want abundance? Vibrate abundance. Imagine, feel, and act as if it's already yours. It's not faking, it's inhabiting that reality internally. The subconscious doesn't distinguish imagination from reality, it accepts what's repeated with emotion. What do you repeat daily? What images fill your mind? What words do you use frequently? This reveals your frequency. I challenge you, for 7 days, choose a new frequency. Upon waking, visualize the life you crave, feel the emotion as if it's already real. Repeat this throughout the day. During those 7 days, reject thoughts of doubt or scarcity. At first, it will feel hard, your mind will try to pull you back, but persistence triggers a magical shift. Opportunities arise, ideas flow, and the right people appear. You're vibrating at the right frequency. You attract who you are, at the frequency you're at. Change that, and everything changes. I'm proof, if it worked for a broke, lost, and disillusioned me, it can work for you. Want to change your life? Do exactly as I say, without adjustment or questioning. Follow every word and prove me wrong. This is how I transformed my life and helped thousands transform theirs. The obstacle isn't lack of knowledge or opportunity, but resistance to simple instructions. Many think they need to understand everything before acting. That need to understand before trusting paralyzes. Life responds not to understanding, but to action. I remember a piece of advice I received at 26, a frustrated, lost young man, bouncing between soul-crushing jobs. A man said, "Do exactly what I tell you, until you discover I'm lying, and your life will transform." I obeyed. I started a cleaning company knowing nothing about management, marketing, or administration. I followed instructions precisely. Within a year, my company grossed over $100,000 without any formal training. Why? Because I didn't let my ego sabotage the process. I didn't adjust the method, I simply followed it. I see many saying, "I already know this," or "I've heard that," or "It doesn't work for me." It doesn't work because they don't do exactly as instructed. When I coach someone, I make it clear, if you won't follow my instructions precisely, don't even begin. Success comes not from varied approaches, but from unwavering adherence to a single path. You need to go the distance before judging a direction. Remember Phil? When I told him to create the image with 2 Oscars, he didn't debate visualization techniques or mention past attempts, he simply did it. His second Oscar win? Not luck, but alignment, conscious obedience to a process that works for those who follow without resistance. Most want quick results, not consistency. They want the harvest without the proper planting. They question, adapt, doubt, and declare it doesn't work. It works for everyone, but only for those who take it seriously. It's not magic, it's universal law, and universal laws respond precisely to your mental discipline. You can study and acquire knowledge, but without conviction and consistency, your results won't change. Choose one thing, a goal, a habit, an objective, and for 30 days, follow exactly what I teach, without deviation, adaptation, or alteration. Align your mind, heart, and actions in one direction, and then tell me if your life hasn't begun to shift. Most fail not for lack of talent, but for lack of trust to obey. Perhaps that's the biggest obstacle between you and your desired life, the difficulty of following without questioning, of doing exactly what needs to be done, even without understanding everything, even without immediate results. But I guarantee, if you trust and follow precisely, you'll be amazed. Real transformation begins when you stop controlling the process and start respecting the principle. And that principle is simple: do exactly what I say. Believe your quality of life depends on the government, the economy, or your salary. That's an illusion, a trap that confines millions to a mediocre reality controlled by external factors. You can create your own economy, financial, lifestyle, and freedom, the way you live each day. When I understood that, everything changed. I stopped reacting to the world and started creating my own. It's possible for you, too. But first, you must accept a seemingly strange principle. The most important economy isn't external, it's the one you build within, your mental, emotional, and spiritual economy. It will reflect in your physical reality. Interestingly, during major economic crises, while many lost everything, some built fortunes. Why? Because they didn't focus on the external, they operated from an unshakable inner core. They created while others panicked. For years, I saw the world as unstable. The dollar fluctuated, I stressed. Recessions were announced, I went into survival mode. Until I realized I was living in an invisible prison built with the bricks of collective fear. I started differently. I chose to design my own environment. I decided how I wanted to live and refused to accept less. I live in a home with radiant floor heating where snow melts on contact with the ground. I walk to my backyard studio, a state-of-the-art facility allowing me to broadcast live to the world. I work how I want, when I want, with whom I choose. It all started with a simple decision, to create my own economy. You might think, but I don't have money. You're wrong. You don't need money to start, you need vision, because vision changes your vibration, and vibration attracts resources. I didn't build my studio because I had excess money, I built it because I had clarity about what I wanted and aligned myself with it daily. If you doubt it, look at the statistics. Studies show financial well-being is more linked to the perception of control over one's life than to salary. People who feel autonomous create more wealth, even earning less. Why? Because they stop depending on the external and start acting from the internal. It's not about waiting for ideal conditions, winning the lottery, or a promotion. It's about deciding how you want to live, imagining it, writing it, visualizing it, vibrating it, and acting consistently with this new reality, even if it doesn't yet physically exist. That's how it will manifest. If you keep waiting for the perfect scenario, you'll wait forever. The perfect scenario is what you create with what you have, even when everyone says it's impossible. It's born from your unwavering conviction that you are the architect of your life. Imagine working how you want, earning money doing what you love, having geographical freedom, quality time with family, and living peacefully. That's not luxury, it's the reflection of a mind that understands how the game works. But you might have fear, doubts. What if you fail? What if you never try? What if in 5 years, everything remains the same? You're already creating an economy. The question is it aligned with who you want to be, or who you were trained to accept? The choice is yours. You can continue reacting to the world, or start creating a new world from the inside out. When you change internally, the world adjusts externally. Want to know if you understand? You don't need to convince me with words, look at your results. They are the exact reflection of what you truly believe, not what you say, but what's deeply rooted in your subconscious. Many say, I understand, I've read about the law of attraction. But when I ask, why then do your results remain the same? Silence is the answer. You can repeat phrases, memorize concepts, teach others, but if your results continue to show scarcity, fear, and limitation, it's because you haven't truly understood. Those who truly understand, change. True understanding isn't in what you know intellectually, but what you've integrated emotionally, what's become part of your paradigm. That controls 96% of your daily behavior, even when you don't realize it. Are you stuck in a rut? Repeating the same patterns, making the same mistakes, getting the same disappointing results? You're not alone. It's like being trapped in a repetitive loop, a hamster wheel of self-sabotage. Changing this requires a serious overhaul. Think renovating a house while still living in it, messy, challenging, but absolutely vital. Because until you change your mindset, your results will remain unchanged, no matter how hard you work or how much you learn. I've seen brilliant minds with groundbreaking ideas fail spectacularly because they refuse to adapt their thinking. Incredibly talented individuals, crippled by limiting beliefs about worthiness, wealth, and success, never managed to truly thrive. Conversely, I've watched people with limited formal education build empires driven by a growth mindset, fearless ambition, and unwavering determination. That's the game changer. You don't need some fancy psychological test to understand your current mental framework. Just look at your life. Your finances, your health, your relationships, your sense of accomplishment. Be brutally honest with yourself. That honesty is the first step. I once had a young man tell me, "I've studied everything you teach. I've read your books, watched your videos, taken notes. I know the concepts." My response? "Show me your results." He was speechless. His life remained exactly as it was, restricted, frustrating, unfulfilled. Not for lack of knowledge, but for lack of consistent, dedicated action. Knowledge is power, but only when applied. You need to live it, breathe it, repeat it until it becomes second nature, ingrained in your subconscious. Neuroscience confirms this. The brain learns through emotional repetition, not mindless drills, but repetition infused with feeling, vivid imagery, and genuine belief. Combine intention with emotion, and you forge new neural pathways, leading to new behaviors and new outcomes. If you're facing the same challenges, you're unconsciously repeating the same patterns. But this can change. Accept this truth: your results mirror your mind. If you dislike what you see externally, you must transform what's within. Not with force or anger, but with commitment, clarity, and unwavering resolve. This is a solitary journey. No one can do it for you. Now that you know, the question is, what will you do with this awareness? Will you retreat to your comfort zone, making excuses for your failures? Or will you decide that your current results don't define your future, but merely highlight areas for improvement? The power and the choice are yours. Imagine a life free from the need for permission. Most people wait for invisible approval, family acceptance, friends' support, validation of their feelings. Time slips away, years accumulate, and that inner voice urging you forward fades to a whisper, then silence. I've seen it happen to good, talented people with brilliant ideas and bold dreams. They quit before they even tried because they were waiting for permission. The scary part? Many don't even realize it. They believe they're being realistic, cautious, responsible, but deep down, they are prisoners of others' expectations. Let me share a transformative truth: you don't need permission to be yourself, or validation to pursue the life you desire. The only approval you need is your own. Have you noticed how many people abandon an idea after sharing it? You mention starting a business, changing careers, moving cities, and you hear, "You sure? What about security? What if it fails?" It chips away at you, even if you resist. A seed of doubt is planted. We're conditioned to listen to others more than ourselves. And therein lies the danger. Most of the people we consult haven't lived the life we want. How can they guide us on an unfamiliar path? Once, I pursued something completely new. It made no sense to others. It was unconventional, demanding investment, faith, and courage. Guess what? I was told not to do it. But I did. And that step opened doors that changed everything. Not because I was better, but because I stopped asking for permission. How many times have you self-sabotaged because of a sideways glance? How many opportunities have you lost out of fear of judgment? How many versions of yourself have you aborted before they were even born, because nobody understood? A study in the Journal of Positive Psychology shows that 94% of people regret inaction more than action. The greatest pain isn't failure, but missed opportunities. And the root cause is often simple: waiting for permission to live. You don't need it. You don't need anyone to tell you you're capable, or for the world to understand your plans. You only need an inner yes. This is the time to say enough to a life that pleases others but leaves you empty. Choose yourself, even if nobody understands. Because ultimately, you're the one who will live with the consequences of your life. So, I propose something. Today, take one step toward what you truly desire. It doesn't have to be monumental, just a step that affirms, "I will no longer ask for permission to be myself." And if you feel fear, that's okay. Go forward with the fear. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to proceed despite it. The life you crave lies on the other side of your decision. It begins when you stop waiting for permission and start authorizing yourself. Your reality doesn't change when you wish it would, it changes when you decide to act with clarity, at the right frequency, doing precisely what needs to be done. Your life can change radically when you shift from being a spectator to the protagonist, director, and author of your own story. Now that this truth is clearer, the next step is inevitable. You'll want to go further. And there's a new video on your screen that will take you to the next level. If you want to evolve, take control, and shape your life as it deserves to be lived, this video is your path. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you there, for another step on your journey to your best self.